What's up, comrades? Now here, and welcome to another video. Today, I decided that I wanted to briefly discuss, kind of review, Brian Michael Bendis' new project. Wait. Hold on. Before you go in the comments and saying like, oh no, this is gonna be another Bendis hate throwing review or anything of that nature, hold on. Back up a bit. Come back. That's right. Yeah, you there in the back who's starting to walk out the door. No, come back. Thank you. I'm going to state this as somebody who has ragged on Bendis and his writing for many years. I want to preface this. I've always said he's overrated, especially, in his much later years. But Young Justice is not a bad book. It's not. It's genuinely not the worst thing he's ever written. It's certainly not the worst comic book I've ever had the displeasure of reading or hearing about. This is actually a decent book. It's not amazing yet, but it's decent. So, where do we begin? Well, Patrick Gleason is the artist, for starters, which I think is fantastic, personally. Considering that I loved his work in Superman, I'm glad that DC continues to find a place for him, and I think that his particular style and the way that he draws is perfect for Young Justice. Now, that said, yeah, because a lot of the art is just phenomenal. It's great. We are also introduced in this book to Jenny Hex. Apparently this is a character that was introduced in some of the DC Giants books. Probably, if I were to hazard a guess, probably in the Titans book. I'm not entirely 100% sure, but I would assume that's where where she was probably introduced. But that aside, it is cool to see the great-granddaughter of Jonah Hex hanging around. That's kind of cool. I like that idea. I think that works to the book's benefit in a way. A lot of the other, and as for her and the new one is, from what I can remember, I think it's Teen Lantern. Both are really good introductions. Well, not great introduction. I think Jenny gets the most screen time, basically, in the book. So we get to know her personality the most. Teen Lantern's still kind of, up in the air. Not sure very much about her. How does a teenager get a Green Lantern ring? How are they able to use it? I'm not really sure, but as an idea, it's not the worst possible thing that could be done in this book. Of course, we do also have the classic characters that are also well known for Young Justice. We've got Robin, we got Cassie, we have Connor, and we got Impulse. Good roster overall. I have nothing against it. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Connor as Superboy. Or when they made Jonathan, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but isn't Connor still around? And I know that continuity has been kind of an issue, and I'm not sure the details. Someone might be able to fill me in on the details, but I'm pretty sure like the Teen Titans or the Titans run that was prior to Rebirth, I think Connor was still there. I don't think he died that I'm aware of. I think he just left the team. So it's okay to have him here as far as I'm aware, along with the other characters. They are still in continuity. For the most part, there are little continuity snafus that I think are a bit weird. Connor wearing his 90s costume, very odd choice. I don't know why you would do that, unless you were doing it simply for, I don't know, nostalgic purposes. Me personally, I prefer the t-shirt and jeans look myself. I think that is a better outfit. But if they want to go with his classic 90s look for a sense of nostalgia, I'm not entirely opposed to it either. I would say that at least it makes it look more like a superhero uniform. Because he is wearing basically a superhero costume and then just wearing a leather jacket over it. It's completely fine, aesthetically. But the one thing that I noticed, or well, The main plot and premise is that a group of individuals from a place called Gem World, which I have no real knowledge of. Everybody probably knows. I don't know everything about DC. I'm relatively new to the DC game overall, but I'd never heard of them before, so you'll forgive me if I don't know what's going on. Bendis does talk about crises that have affected Gem World, and they've come to talk to Superman, apparently, and their idea of confronting or talking to Superman is to attack the city. Really stupid idea if all you want to do is talk. It's not the best way to get Superman's attention. You could just call to him. I'm pretty sure he'd show up. But with that said, however, when they do attack, Robin comes in, and a bunch of other characters come in, of course, too. Cassie eventually joins the fight. She is a bit nervous to join the fight when she talks to Robin. Okay, and here's another continuity snafu here. This is Tim Drake. He's wearing his Robin costume. If this is in continuity, as far as I know, he is still Red Robin. That I'm aware of, at least. From what I understand of it, he's still Red Robin. Why he's just now Robin? I don't know. It's very weird, very bizarre. I'm not sure I'm completely understanding Bendis' logic on that, but I can appreciate having the classic uniform back. It's just a very, very weird choice, if I'm being honest. I think that, for the most part, the book is a solid book. The one thing that a lot of people complain about with Bendis is his way that he writes dialogue and whatnot, his Bendis speak, if you will. Gotta be honest, it's not nearly as prevalent or as terrible in this book as it has been in others. And when I originally read the book, I kind of had the feeling, or I kind of thought, this kind of feels like back in his old days, back when he used to write Ultimate Spider-Man, because that was a book I actually really enjoyed reading from him, back when it first started, and even, from what I understand, the Miles Morales run was still pretty good too. So, I don't know, there didn't seem to be a whole lot of Bendis speak, so either his editors are maintaining control over him, or maybe he didn't want to write too much dialogue for this one. I wanted to kind of briefly talk about a few criticisms that I saw people levying on social media and probably in videos. A couple of things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way a bit. Now, I'm not going to call them out directly, because I can't remember what everybody said, and I don't know everyone. But one of the problems that people tended to have was with Impulse, and they didn't like the fact that Impulse used pop culture references, I guess would be the best way to describe the argument, because there is the panel with Impulse running, saying, call Superman, call the Justice League, call Harry Potter. And apparently that was enough to upset some people. I know that pop culture references oversaturated in comic books does get old. I understand that very well. Hello, I've been reading Marvel for a long time, and half of their book is pop culture references a lot of the time. They don't know when to stop. But in this book, it didn't bother me. And the reason, and I'm going to explain this for a very good reason. Impulse is a speedster. And a lot of the speedsters or Flash-type characters like Wally and him do make a lot of comments and jokes. They tend to be very comedic in nature. Sometimes they might throw in the odd pop culture reference here and there. It's really not out of character for them to be doing it. So it doesn't really irritate me when I see him doing it. I mean, if anyone has even watched the Young Justice cartoon show, when they do introduce Impulse, or when Wally was in it, we know the characters can be very comedic, jokey, making references, being weird and goofy, and being genuinely kind of trickstery in their behavior. That doesn't bother me. That genuinely does not upset me, because I expect it out of that type of character. I could see Impulse doing this. I could see Bart pulling this off very, very well. I know some people also complained about, I guess it was one frame of the panel where they were talking about, where I guess everyone kind of saw it as like a, I don't know, social commentary? It's like the world is a lie or something about guns. I don't really know what the argument was exactly because I kind of spaced it out of my mind. But I did see some people complaining about it because it's like, oh, look, SJW speaking a comic book. And I'm like, well, I mean, there's a lot of that nowadays. But in this book, the one thing that actually interested me more than anything is because the bad guys were the ones that were saying it. It wasn't the good guys. It was the villains. Or at the very least, the people who are attacking the world. So basically, in a sense, it might have been Bendis taking a jab at, some of the social justice type behaviors. I'm not really sure myself. I'm not going to give him the credit for that because the dialogue itself is stupid and could have been handled better anyway. But overall, it seemed like it was not really a big reason to burn the book or to be upset about it, honestly. Because I was reading Green Arrow in Rebirth, and yeah, they had those things. They had Green Arrow saying social justice warrior, or him and Black Canary talking about mansplaining. Yeah, those were things in that book. I still read that book, by the way, at least to some extent. I actually thought it was kind of funny. And the reason why I found it entertaining and laughable is because it's like, well, it's Green Arrow. He leans exceedingly left, so it didn't really upset me to have him saying content or speaking in that manner, especially when you're doing it in a joking manner. It's fine, and it's fine in this. I don't see the outrage for this. People could say that it's a below average book or an average book, not really the best book that they've read. And considering that it's an introduction to Young Justice or this new Young Justice team, really not that big of a deal. Could it get worse down the line? Yes, it could totally get worse. I could see that happening. It's Bendis. Could it get better over time? Also, it's Bendis. There's always the potential that he might have one good story left in him. But overall, I still think that this is a book that's at least might be worth a look. Of course, I didn't buy my copy of Young Justice. It was given to me by Comic Boom. From him, he was giving away some free digital copies. I asked, and he was willing to part with one of them. Thank you so much, Comic Boom. We love you all very much here at this particular Wolf's Little corner of the internet. We appreciate it. He has given me a couple of comics here and there. I like that he's sharing the digital codes. It's a really good way to get some people to read the book. And yeah, go check out his channel. I will leave a link in the description for you guys to go and check it out. Show the man some love, okay? Just go out and show him some love, okay? With that said, of course, I'd like to say please always do not forget to leave me a like, shoot me a comment, subscribe if you're new here, share this video. Also, if you disagree with me, if you think that this book was very good or did I miss something, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm sure I'll get an earful from somebody. But of course, with that said, do not forget to raise your nerd flags high, and I will see you next time. Nightwolf is out.